And without this leading edge conversation, that clarity would not have occurred for all of them. It's hard to let go of the right and wrongness of things, or the what you want. It's hard to accept that you could have a delicious relationship with anyone on the planet, because within every person is enough that matches the heart of what you intend. But you didn't come here to just find a relationship with anyone or anything. You came here to define and to decide, and it should be exactly as you have intended it to be. But the thing that we so want you to hear is that this vortex is a compilation of ingredients, and the masterpieces that can be made from it are known by your inner being, but not necessarily known by you. And it does take quite an element of trust to, first of all, accept that there even is a vibrational reality, and that your inner being is tending it, and that in your willingness to gravitate toward feeling good and away from resistance, that more and more will occur to you. But once you start finding a little piece of clarity and you just ride the wave of it, it might only last 10 seconds. But you recognize it. Once you start realizing the power of daydreaming, the power of getting out ahead of it, the power of not needing it to have been manifested before you look at it, but the power to feel for it anyway. Once you step into that knowledgeable, emotional state of expecting good things for yourself, no matter how it looks in the moment, enough things begin to avalanche down around you, like that trend of things that were happening with the job, that you begin to accept your own power. And we just want this conversation to be a conversation where, in the process of accepting your own power, you understand it, and you know what makes it and what works against it, what helps it, what hinders it, when it's there, how to encourage it, what to do to make more of it. It's like molding the clay. You just get better and better and better and better and better at it. And you don't get better at it unless there's something that challenges it. And you don't get better at it unless life causes you to want something new. And you don't get better at it until you actually feel the bliss of temporary alignment. And you don't get better at it until you make the correlation between the alignment and what came next.
I'm noticing that in other areas.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful thing. And then you get down the road and you have this wonderful relationship with this wonderful person, and it doesn't matter what framework it takes. It doesn't matter who lives where, when, or how much time you spend together. You just have this rich relationship that is formed out of the tapestry of the contrast that you've lived, and you're viewing that relationship and that person through the eyes of source. And when you focus upon it, there's only the good feeling end of the stick that's ever activated, because you want the good feeling end of the stick to be the only stick that's activated relative to everyone you know. When there's that other end of the stick that's activated often, and it hurts you when it's activated, you're out of control. And when you're demanding or needing government or other people to do something different in order for you to feel better, you're really out of control. But when you don't need anybody to do anything different in order for you to feel good, because you know how to align with your inner being, and you know that your inner being knows how to align with everything that you want, now you are the master that you were born to be of creation, and now you're having a good time. And will you ever get it done? Nope. Will you ever be without contrast? Absolutely not. There's always going to be some other precious pile of contrasts that's going to inspire something new, and there's always going to be that potential to waver. There's always going to be that question about what really is my path of least resistance. But once you've shown yourself that you're good at finding your path of least resistance, then, and only then, you get out there and live life the way you meant. Otherwise, you get into this fraidy cat, little cowardly little corner where you're hiding from anything that might upset you a little bit, because you don't trust that you might have a knee-jerk reaction to it and set off a whole new thing that you don't want, as compared to not worrying about anything, knowing that everything is managed by your alignment, and feeling the wholeness of who you are, and knowing that you are not just the creator of your own reality, you are creator magnificent. You are in league with energy that creates worlds. You got to know your power. You can't defy it or deny it. You got to embrace it and live it and know it. Otherwise, it's like somebody really important to you called you on the telephone and said, I'm not going to call you again. That will never happen from source energy. You'll never get that call from source. Source will be there every time you call. Every time.
So you're describing what I would call like this Jesus perspective, where I don't mean it as facetiously as I'm going to say it, but where you're like floating above the fray, and love is, and I want to be there, Abraham.
So step one is being in the fray.
Yeah, it's step 4.
Step one is being in the fray. So we're not asking you to be above the fray. We're asking you to understand there's fray step, and there's source step, and there's a aligned step. We're not asking you to be above the fray. We're asking you to know the difference between when you're in the fray, which is a good time to take a nap, and when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and receiving impulse. Even the story you tell about Jesus, his luggage got lost. Oh no, he was nailed up, but you know what we mean. That's the story you all tell and revere. You don't talk so much about the things that he was telling you about the power of your being and the power of the kingdom of heaven and how you are all part of that, and to turn the other cheek and not push against things you do not want. In other words, that's not the story you tell. You tell the story of when he made the decision to give up his physicality and reemerge into non-physical, and never went anywhere, never stopped talking to you, never stopped talking to you. Get out. Take it easy.